That's the beautiful rhythm that we've seen from Duffy all season. All smiles from a very proud Bermudian who wins the title, defends her title with maximum points, 5,200, her 6th win of the season.
Are you looking to expand your customer base, increase sales, and be a part of the Island Community Events for 2018? Bermuda Broadcasting Company can make that happen.
Be a part of World Cup 2018, Bermuda Day Half Marathon, Bermuda Heroes Weekend, Cup Match Classic, and Eastern Counties Cricket.
Inquire about our new advertising opportunities, whether big or small. We will deliver. Come and see us at Fort Hill, Devonshire, or email us at sales@bbc.bm or send us a message on Facebook at Bermuda Broadcasting.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
And you're watching Bermuda Broadcasting News. It's Monday, April the 16th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Well, the Corporation of Hamilton estimates that 10,000 tickets have been generated since new tough enforcement legislation came into force last June. All parking tickets issued in the city are now recorded, with cases automatically sent to court after 2 weeks. As Tarai Trott reports, that means unpaid parking fines could end up costing you hundreds of dollars and your freedom.
There once was a time when you could park illegally in the city of Hamilton and simply throw away the tickets without fear of any enforcement. Well, those days are gone.
Well, that ticket from the warden side will be processed and keyed into the magistrate's court system. I believe it's 14 days after that will kick out that hasn't been paid, and a process will start for a summons to be issued.
The penalty for parking illegally within the city has risen from $50 to $75, with the price increasing to $100 if summoned to court. Continued failure to pay sees the price rise to $150 and possible arrest.
Okay, prior to the amendment to the Traffic Offenses and Penalties Act, the criminal offense of parking is handled totally by the government. The wardens would issue a ticket. It would go to magistrate's court. It would be the magistrate's court's responsibility between them and the police. That was prior. Those tickets, those parking tickets that are issued in the city of Hamilton will come to the city of Hamilton.
If everyone pays their city parking tickets, it would amount to an extra $600,000 to city coffers to date. Elsewhere, Mr. Benavides is working hard to have the government increase the penalty for illegal parking in handicap parking bays, which he identifies as a significant problem. At the moment, the fine is just $75.
How much would you like the fine to be?
Well, I would say $1,000 is probably enough to get your attention.
Meanwhile, there was mixed reaction to the new system from motorists we spoke to.
I think that's great. Absolutely support it wholeheartedly.
Do you worry it could be expensive for some who might not be able to pay?
We must be careful not to park where they shouldn't or not exceed the time limit. We all know the rules. If you break them, then you pay.
I sort of have no issue with it because I've never had an issue with it. But if I did, I would have said it would be a little bit ridiculous after 14 days, to be honest. If it gave it a little bit more time, then yes, because, you know, some people have their struggles sometimes in life and they're not going to be able to, like, get it down paid right then and then.
It was quite lax before, just being able to get away with not paying them and nobody doing anything. But I do actually think that being summoned to court is a little bit extreme, and maybe the $75 charge is a little extreme.
Thanks, Tarai. Well, details are still emerging of a collision between two motorcyclists this afternoon on North Shore Road and Overview Hill in Pembroke. Both drivers, one male and one female, have been taken to the hospital. It's not clear yet how seriously they've been injured. The area has been cordoned off while the scene is being processed by the police. In other news, Premier David Byrd has used his trip to Washington, D.C. to remind U.S. lawmakers of the island's role as an insurance center, stressing the sector's importance at a time when a number of U.S. states have suffered from natural disasters. Speaking with Gary Moreno, the Premier said it was vital to remind key figures in Washington about Bermuda's significant insurance industry, given newly enacted tax legislation in the U.S.
Made sure we reminded them about the fact that Bermuda is the first United Kingdom overseas territory to have a country-by-country agreement with the IRS. Bermuda is recognized as a leader in the sphere of international cooperation on tax and transparency matters, and we wanted to make sure they heard from us directly the works we're doing in that area.
Introducing tax incentives to lure American companies back to the U.S. Did that at all form part of the discussions?
We met with a number of lawmakers from Gulf states who would be more likely to be affected by hurricanes and flooding that can result from hurricanes. We made sure to remind them, many of them didn't know already, about the work of which Bermuda has done in this area and the fact that about 30% of the insured losses, or $30 billion in losses, were paid out by the Bermuda market to help in the recovery and reconstruction efforts of many of the United States. And we want to ensure that there is a dynamic global insurance market which will continue to provide that insurance capacity. If that market is tinkered with, you could see that there may be less coverage or capacity to insure those losses which may occur in many states. And that, I can assure you, is not something that lawmakers in any jurisdiction wish.
Would you say then that provides a buffer for Bermuda?
The U.S. president is just one part of a very large lawmaking system in the United States. Where we stand currently is that the U.S. tax reform has gone through. Bermudian companies will make the adjustments, which some of them will be required to make. But by and large, our insurance industry is resilient, and we've proven our worth to the global economy time and time again, and we will continue to prove that worth. What we're doing is looking on different ways that Bermuda can help to cover more risk, possibly in the United States and otherwise, and that's the focus of our conversations, not only in Washington, D.C., but our focus of our conversations here in San Antonio at the RIMS conference.
This is Rick Blomquist of De Pere, Wisconsin. His life is pretty comfortable. He lives in a comfy home, wears comfortable shoes. He even has a comfortable job. Rick Blomquist thought he had comfort all figured out. But then he laid on a Certa and realized his life was only just sorta comfortable. The new Certa iComfort Hybrid Mattress. Not just sorta comfortable, Certa comfortable.
Feel the difference a good night's sleep can make. Exclusively available at Dreams, Bermuda's only mattress gallery.
Welcome back. Well, placing money on casino gaming becoming a reality here anytime soon could be a losing bet. Speaking to Gary Moreno, Tourism Minister Jamal Simmons said recently there's too much at stake for the government to rush into the sector, meaning an uncertain future for the gaming industry on the island.
Casino gaming did not feature high on the list of the PLP's election manifesto, and since forming the government in July of last year, the most we've heard about the planned amenity was during a ministerial statement from Minister Simmons early last month, when he outlined the status of casino regulations. Back then, the minister indicated there can be no movement in casino gaming until a number of criteria included in those regulations have been met. Since those standards must be in keeping with what is required by the industry with the many complexities associated with gaming. However, it was just last week when Minister Simmons...
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have a pretty active forecast as we move on through the day tomorrow with a band of showers and even a few thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, tied to our next front. And you can see the clouds are building to the west, and the actual front is still a distance away to the west. It'll be approaching into the day tomorrow. Here's the satellite estimated rainfall. A couple of showers have outrun the front, but there will be a greater concentration of them when the front actually arrives. So look out for a few showers during the day tomorrow, but things will kind of escalate into the afternoon with the thunderstorms possibly even entering the forecast into the afternoon hours. So the front is along the western edge of this big batch of clouds. Clouds will increase from now until the front's arrival. And with this setup, again, we're often warmest in the time frame before a cold front arrives. We have a wind from the south at 10 to 15 knots, and that'll continue through the evening and into the overnight. So that'll prevent us from cooling down much. We may lose a few degrees into the upper 60s, but that's about as low as we go tonight. We're at 71 now. Humidity is hanging out real close to 80%. Water temp 72. On the inside, we have 1 to 2 foot waves. On the outside, 3 to 6 footers are rolling, and they may even approach 7 feet as we step into tomorrow morning. So tonight we're looking at a partly cloudy time, fairly quiet. Otherwise, temperatures no lower than 67. Some of us may not even quite get that low, and it will be a little breezy out there. There is a small craft warning in effect through Wednesday morning, so tonight into tomorrow and through tomorrow evening, tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. High tide coming up in a few more hours at 9:58 p.m. tonight. Low tide 4:12 Tuesday morning comes back up late Tuesday morning, and then the tide goes out once again at 4:13 on Tuesday afternoon. But again, boating weather not the best, with the seas becoming a little more agitated. Tomorrow, cold front number 1 rolls in for our week. There will be another one at the very end of the week. Breezy, spotty showers in the morning, and then a more legitimate opportunity for steadier rain for a time in the afternoon, with even a thunderstorm embedded within those more robust showers. 74 for your high, then we'll get cooler. So here it comes. Futurecast will draw the front for us nicely with the wind shift line. Tonight it approaches from the west, winds still from the south until the front gets here, and then we see an abrupt wind shift, and the winds will become more of a cooler and slightly less humid westerly wind after some showers and even a thunderstorm that accompanies the front. So the Gateway forecast showers in New York and Boston. Into the Caribbean we go with some scattered showers and thunderstorms into Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad, and it's nice and warm down there. So again, wet on Tuesday, dry and great for Wednesday and Thursday. Boating weather will improve. Waves subside late Wednesday. Another chance for showers rolls in Friday evening into Friday night, so look out for that. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane actually the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care, and because of that I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
Pumps make our world go. Cars, washing machines, oil rigs, submarines, all have pumps. The heart is a pump too. And like all pumps, it has parts that wear out and need to be replaced. But the heart isn't easy to get to. First, surgeons have to cut through a protective cage. But what if you could get to the heart the same way blood does, through an artery? Researchers at Columbia and Weill Cornell, working with New York Presbyterian, pioneered an artificial aortic valve that folds closed, like an umbrella. Doctors guide the valve through arteries to the heart, where it unfolds and goes to work. Techniques like TAVR may soon replace open-heart surgery altogether. Patients could check in the morning and leave with a rebuilt heart the very next day. That's amazing. And it's happening right here at New York Presbyterian.
It's one of the most uncomfortable things to think about. But the truth is, you are going to die.
I would be on a ventilator for a maximum of 4 days.
I don't want any pain. Medicating me to a point that I'm unable to communicate, I'm okay with that.
In no situation would I want to be kept alive on machines.
Mortality is an inevitability, so why is talking about it so taboo? Having no plan in place can leave families at loggerheads and can be a major drain on the healthcare system.
Join me, Tony Waterman, for a week-long special looking at end-of-life care here in Bermuda. From hospice and wills to the latest technology helping seniors thrive, we'll arm you with the information to help demystify that final journey we all have to take. Talking Death, starting April 23rd.
And we apologize for the technical issues experienced during the casino gaming piece. Well, turning to business news, from markets to cyber threats to space, Tony Waterman has your business mashup.
It had all the makings for a rough start to the trading week, but markets pulled ahead, shrugging off geopolitical tensions after this weekend's bombing in Syria. U.S. markets closed the day stronger, pushing the S&P back into positive territory for the year. Here in Bermuda, the BSX also closed the day higher. It's up over 15% so far this year, far outpacing U.S. and European markets.
I think one of the star performing stocks from a
a Bermuda-centric point of view has been Banker Butterfield. I mean, they went through a recapitalization, and ever since they've done that, the bank has been doing better, and the stock clearly reflects that. And it's been one of the, if not the star performer in the BSX.
Aluminum prices continued their surge today, breaking past the $2,400 a ton handle. Traders scrambling for the metal following U.S. sanctions against Russian producer Rusal, the world's second largest aluminum producer. Aluminum is one of the most traded industrial commodities and is found in everything from cans to foils to window frames and airplane parts. Experts say the price jump could get passed along to consumers. Cyber threats and attacks are costing companies $445 billion a year, and Access Capital Holdings wants in on insuring it. The Bermuda-based firm is launching the Access Cyber Center of Excellence, which will offer products and services like risk assessment modeling tools, cyber education, and mentoring. Access says the center will provide a broad range of commercial insurance protection and mitigation solutions for tangible and intangible assets relating to global cyber threats and attacks. The team will be mostly based in the U.S. and London. Space may be light years away, but Bermuda is taking an up-close look at what sort of economic benefits space could hold. The Deputy Premier, Walter Robban, is in Colorado this week attending the 34th Space Symposium. The government is exploring the potential economic benefits space could offer, whether that's ensuring space exploration or satellites or developing space-related technologies. Mr. Robban says Bermuda wants to provide the right legal and regulatory environment to entice space-related companies to the island. Thousands of space professionals and industry leaders from more than 40 countries will be at this year's event. I'm Tony Waterman, and that's your Business Mashup.
In other news this evening, next year could see locals and visitors getting their best view of Dockyard ever. The Consort Cruises tour company has applied for permission to install a 20-person helium balloon at the historic site. It's hoped it will be ready by next spring, with passengers being raised to a height of around 350 feet. The company says people will be able to see South Shore beaches from that height. It's not just the first application to be made on the island. There's already been one similar balloon next to the Rockaway Ferry in Southampton. Sports now, and Earl Baisden has the details of a historic record breaking on the final day of the Commonwealth Games. That and much more in tonight's sports package.
Tyler Butterfield broke a 37-year record on the final day of the Commonwealth Games that went on in the Gold Coast of Australia.
Competing in the men's marathon, Butterfield crossed the line 12th overall in a time of 2 hours, 26 minutes and 29 seconds. His time saw him break Ray Swan's national record time of 2 hours, 26 minutes and 37 seconds set back in April of 1981. A Colin Ryan goal in the first half was the difference between Robin Hood defeating Southampton Rangers 1-0 in the FA Challenge Cup final at the National Sports Centre on Saturday evening. Robin Hood player coach John Newsom knew his team was in for a battle.
They've been a good team. This is the first loss of the whole season, so they've been a good team all year. I know Joe Moore had them ready. I'm actually seeing them training out Rangers, and so I know they've got good players. A couple of the players came from our team as well, so I knew they was going to put up a good fight, and they actually played very well, so 1-0 was a just result.
Southampton Rangers coach Jomar Wilkinson agreed the result summed up the Southampton Rangers season, but he's already looking forward to next season.
Well, we have to continue to be honest, and it's a process. It's a very young team with a lot of potential. We're going to look to add to the team next year, and I'm trying to grow and make it a competitive environment for the team.
The National Sports Centre and the Bermuda Olympic Association hosted a youth sports expo at the National Sports Centre yesterday. Sports on display representing their national bodies included equestrian, archery, volleyball, sailing, netball, athletics, tennis, fencing, gymnastics, cricket, motorsports, swimming, sandshell, rugby, boxing, golf, rowing, and football. There was also representation from the Bermuda Sports Anti-Doping Authority. The Bermuda Pacers Track Club hosted their Easter Sprint Challenge at the National Sports Centre on Saturday. Legend Stevenson won the 9-10 girls 100-meter dash, clocking a time of 16:42. Jada Grant was second in 16:56, and Deja Dill finished third in a time of 16:72. Ramaya Brengman ran to victory in the 11-12 girls 100-meter dash, clocking 14:76, while Shai Rudo was second in 15:05. Nyesha White finished third in 15:18. Tiara DeRosa and her Shaw University women's outdoor track and field teammates competed at the JCSU Invite hosted by the John C. Smith University. Sophomore DeRosa grabbed 4th place in the shot put with a top throw of 12.90 meters. Dage Miners represented Franklin Pierce University men's track and field team at the Southend Invitational. Miners won the men's 1500 meter race, clocking a time of 3:52.22. Day 4 of the Bermuda Breeze USTA National Tennis Championships took place at the Coral Beach and Tennis Club. Men's 50 singles number 1 seed Frederick Scolon defeated Michael Way in straight sets 6-3, 6-1 in the final. Luis Pena was crowned the men's 60 singles champion, this after he defeated Stephen Brady 6-1, 6-1, while the men's 65 singles title went to Roy Riley after he defeated Tom Morley in 3 sets 6-1, 2-6, 6-3. Antonio Warner captured the under 12 boys singles title as the ITF Kotak Trinity Cup 2018 concluded in Trinidad. Warner, the number 1 seed, had a bye in his first round. He would go on and defeat Jace Kwashi in the final in straight sets 6-1, 6-3. The 2018 Crickway Crockle Super 6 Cricket Expo took place at Lord's in St. David's, where the Tough Dogs were crowned the champions, with Bailey's Bay finishing 2nd and Coode Ridge finishing 3rd. Dean Stevens from PHC scored the most runs in the tournament, while the Sportsmanship Award went to the Father and Son International Team. The 15th annual I Institute Classic took place in the East End yesterday, with runners taking the route around Cut Road in St. George. Youngster Ryan Otterbridge, fresh from his performance at the 2018 Carifta Games, crossed the line first in a time of 18:07, with Bermuda Winter Olympian Tucker Murphy second in 18:21 and Teddy Shum was third in 18:36. Gail Lindsay was crowned the female champion, this after she crossed the line 5th overall in a time of 19:08. Martina Olszewski-Bell was the second female finisher and 14th overall in a time of 21:08, and Liana Kotze was the third female finisher and 15th overall, clocking 21:45. 5 Somerset Cricket Club members were given a helping hand towards education with funds received from the Clyde Pass Scholarship Golf Tournament held last year. The 5 include Savannah Fisher, Kayla Corday, Amber Butterfield, Deshae Darrell, and Simeon Burrows. The Bermuda Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation hosted their April Extravaganza 2018 inside City Hall on Saturday evening. 10 competitors, some for the first time, took to the stage. Laura Law won the bikini division, while Joy Eve won the fitness division. Ryan Hopkins won the classic physique, while George Moranu won the men's physique division. Winner's Edge rider Caden Hopkins won the Winner's Edge time trial that took place around Harrington Sound yesterday that covered a distance of 14.8 miles. Hopkins clocked a time of 32:54, while Matthew Oliveira was second in 33:41. Masters rider Jeff Smith finished third in a time of 35:58. In the women's field, Nicole Mitchell took the line honors in a time of 39:27. Caitlin Conyers was second, and Jamie Lee Wright finished third in a time of 41 minutes flat.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Well, in court news, a Southampton man has been banned for a year and a half after admitting to driving while over the legal alcohol limit. Appearing in magistrate's court, 60-year-old Gregory Can Sr. also pleaded guilty to failing to stop after an accident on March the 2nd this year on Camp Road, Southampton. The court heard there was a 2-car crash in the area near the railway trail, after which a white Kia was seen driving away. Police later located the car at a Warwick residence. Mr. Can explained to the officers that he thought only his mirror touched the other car. He also admitted having consumed, quote, a few beers. Magistrate Kamisi Chicumbo fined Mr. Can $150 for failing to stop, $1,200 for driving over the limit, and gave him an 18-month disqualification from driving all vehicles. And we'll have more sports after the break, including how Bermuda is using it to attract visitors to the island. Stay with us.
Are you looking to expand your customer base? increase sales, and be a part of the Island Community Events for 2018? Bermuda Broadcasting Company can make that happen.
Be a part of World Cup 2018, Bermuda Day Half Marathon, Bermuda Heroes Weekend, Cup Match Classic, and Eastern Counties Cricket.
Inquire about our new advertising opportunities, whether big or small. We will deliver. Come and see us at Fort Hill, Devonshire, or email us at sales@bbc.pm or send us a message on Facebook at Bermuda Broadcasting.
Welcome back. Well, as we've already heard, the U.S. Tennis Association's 2018 National Clay Court Championships wrapped up at the Coral Beach and Tennis Club this weekend. But as well as some top tennis, the event also saw big crowds and lots of overseas visitors filling hotel rooms. Coral Beach's General Manager Nick Bola explains more.
It was a great tournament. We partnered with the United States Tennis Association, been working with them for over a couple of years, and the results of the tournament really exceeded our expectations. Our club was full. I'm sure we overflowed additional room nights into the community. The number of participants exceeded our expectations as well. So we'd really like to thank the Bermuda Tourism Authority and the government of Bermuda for their support in encouraging this particular event, and are very pleased that our tournament could potentially be an annual event and continue to bring future business back to Bermuda. The feedback from the players that we received during the tournament was spectacular. They love the venue, they love the destination, the programming. Our referees that came from the USTA was a nice touch to that as well. All of these components have pointed towards us bringing new tournaments of higher caliber, perhaps even leading to the Bermuda Open-like tournament once again here in Bermuda.
The tournament is another example of Bermuda using sport in an attempt to boost visitor numbers, especially during the shoulder season when fewer tourists arrive. CSM is one of the largest sports and entertainment companies in the world. Hallen Stone heads its North American office and is a frequent visitor to the island. He spoke with Patrick Singleton about ways of attracting more sports tourism business to the island.
I have been here many times over the last 30 years, and I've actually seen a wide range of events from very large, obviously America's Cup, and going back 25, 30 years ago, an ATP event that was held here that was fantastic, on down to what I would call customer events where you're entertaining 50, 100 people, and it's spectacular. I think the challenge for me is not an infrastructure challenge, right? It's just making sure the world knows how fantastic it is here, from places to stay, things to do, obviously some of the most beautiful scenery anywhere, and great sports infrastructure, golf courses, tennis courts, obviously incredible sailing, and almost anything you could want to do. And I think the magic is the nature of the people and the hospitality, right? It's an extraordinary place, a welcoming place, and selfishly, I can't think of a better place to bring groups of people than coming here. Logistics are easy, certainly from the East Coast U.S. I'm probably every airport's within 2.5 hours at the most, and weather speaks for itself. So it's kind of a perfect setup, and I think the challenge probably that you have and others have is just to be sure that the decision makers at sports properties know this is here and put it in the consideration set, because if it's in the consideration set, you're going to come here.
And last but definitely not least, hundreds of people turned out for the annual Bounce for Autism Fun Day at Police Field in Hamilton on Saturday. It's the 7th time the fundraising event organized by the charity Tomorrow's Voices has taken place, and it's certainly lived up to its name. We leave you now with some images from Saturday. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for being with us. Good night and see you tomorrow.
And go! And they're bouncing. We have one person over. 2. Bouncing, look at the technique as the first person goes across the line. Okay, do we have the third heat ready? We got about 3.